In 1997, Mr. Taylor was elected President of the Republic of Liberia. And not too long after that, he joined the government as Director General of Cabinet. Am I correct?
Yes, 97.
Now, you were a member of the Cabinet at the time, or Director General of the Cabinet, at the time your former colleague in the Progressive Alliance of Liberia and the PPP, Samuel Dokie, and his family was killed. How did that impact you?
Terribly. Terribly.
What kind of representations did you make to Mr. Taylor? What was your stance on the matter? Did it ring any bell of alarm to you?
Of course, it rang a lot of bells. Of course, it rang a lot of bells. And we got to get to the bottom of this. Who did it?
Who, in your opinion, do you think may have ordered the execution of Dokie? Was it by some rogue element within the government, or was it sanctioned otherwise?
I don't know. I didn't get the impression that it was sanctioned by Mr. Taylor. Again, I didn't conduct an investigation to find out who sanctioned, who didn't sanction. It was a disaster, a very unfortunate situation, and it was not part of my mission actually to find out who did it. The state had to investigate, and I still do hope that case is not yet closed. It needs to be pursued. Who did it? Who did it? We need to find out. Even if it takes 1,000 years.
Yes, but what were your suspicions then?
Suspicion?
Yeah. Did you have any suspicions as to
the man family was murdered? Now, who may have murdered him?
Who may have been responsible? We're not talking about, because it was clear there were certain elements who were named, and these elements were state functionaries. So the point is, including Mr. Benjamin Yeney, who then, and since Benjamin Yeney, we have listened here to representations by other former members of the NPFL and NPP that Mr. Yeney was very, very powerful. And so who then, other than Mr. Taylor, could have ordered Mr. Dokie taken away from the police station, done away with his wife and family, and yet the investigations, the trial, following a twisting maze that eventually led to nowhere, and till today, there's no one held accountable for the death of Mr. Dokie.
Well, in my opinion, every lead should be pursued and investigated. The suspicion that Mr. Taylor may have instructed should be investigated. The suspicion that Mr. Yeney or anybody else for that matter should be investigated. No stone should be left unturned on something like this.
Did you at the time contemplate resigning from the government?
No,
as a sign of disapproval of what had transpired?
My disapproval was expressed in different ways, but I never thought about resigning because of that.
As a public figure, how was your disagreement expressed?
Well, the initial reaction, of course, was shock and dismay, regrets, disappointment. And I took a strong stand in occasions where I had to make a comment to Mr. Taylor and others that we must get to the bottom of this. We cannot.
And what was his response?
That we will investigate. And I think an investigation, not even I think, there was an attempt at investigating. I believe some people were arrested, and there was some trial that supposedly took place, and people were found not guilty. I understand some people absconded, and the legal system made some efforts. Those efforts have not produced a culprit. I don't think that file is closed, even as we speak. If it took 1,000 years, we must find out what happened. Who killed the Dokies? Now, I suppose during these hearings, I don't know if anyone has ever made any comment to this body with regard to that incident. You have the mandate to probe and probe and probe. And your probe is not so much in the context of prosecuting people, but to find the truth. I will hope that that's one of the angles that this commission will bring to the surface.